gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, hello, and welcome to Host of Poetry, a live expression unleashed, where words become waves that stir the soul and ignite the spirit. Over the next 30 to 40 minutes, you will have the distinct pleasure of meeting some of 2025 Poet of the Year nominees. I am truly honored to share them with you. These are voices that redefine boundaries, resonate truth, and paint emotions with their verses. If you have not cast your vote, I want you to dash over to the Power of Poetry Speaking from Your Soul Facebook group. Make sure you cast your vote. Allow your voice to be heard as we celebrate these amazing poets. Each year, Aspiring Authors Magazine offers a talent poet a chance to shine, providing them a platform to showcase their unique voice and connect with other poets eager to share their niche through our poetry section. In 2025, we are excited to expand this opportunity. We're going to be granting the winner a chance to host a podcast airing right here on the Crew Podcast. We're going to have 4 live shows that's going to air right here. We're going to give you an opportunity to enable yourself and others to share your passion and creativity with a global audience to amplify your reach and influence around the world. So, again, I welcome you to Pulse of Poetry Live Expressions Unleashed. Tonight, you're going to have a chance to meet some amazing poets. So, I want you to settle in and get ready to go on this journey through a lyrical landscape, unveiling who these poets are and what these magnificent poets will unleash on tonight. So sit back and relax. I want to share this piece with you guys before I bring up these amazing poets. Just something I have for all of the nominees. To the nominees who light the way, brilliant beacons in the vast array. With each bold step, dreams take flight, soaring to realms of unboundless heights. This is your moment to seize the dawn, a future bright where aspirations are drawn. With hearts afire and visions clear, embrace the magic. It's your time. It's here. And that's that piece. And that's to all of the nominees. So, y'all, I'm going to move on out the way and I'm going to bring up these amazing poets. Tonight, we're going to have an opportunity to get to know them. They're going to have an opportunity to introduce themselves. I hope they came with some piece, with a piece to share, because I also want them to share a piece. Want you guys to get an opportunity to find out who they are. We're going to find out how we can follow them, how we can support some of the things that they have going on, and what's in store for 2025, y'all. This is the first Sunday in 2025. So, what a way to kick off uh, a new year. So, I'm going to move on out the way and I'm going to bring these poets up. We have Shanette Johnson, Michelin Moss, and Miss Glendoria Boyd in the building tonight. So, we're going to start with Miss Michelin, if you would share with the audience a little bit about yourself and what you got in store for 2025. Miss Michelin, can you hear me?
Okay, I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelin Moss, and I bring you greetings from Memphis, Tennessee. I was raised in New Jersey. I am a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and also a poet. My journey started at a very young age. It started with my grandfather actually reciting Psalms and Proverbs to us. And, at the time, I didn't know what was going on, but I think that's what kind of like piqued my interest. Also, I had an older brother who passed away that was like really into the arts. So he used to take me to Harlem and spoke about the Harlem Renaissance. And so that was another thing that made me, to start to enjoy poetry, and I wanted to write it. I was also in this little beauty pageant when I was probably in elementary school, and my brother gave me a poem to recite for my talent, and I didn't win, but I did enjoy it. The crowd enjoyed the poetry. So, what I have going on for this year is going to still be writing. I am an advocate for domestic violence. I'm an advocate for um, excuse me. I'm an advocate for domestic violence. I'm also an advocate for the blind. My son lost his sight a couple of years ago, so we're still trying to navigate that. I'm also going to be a part of an organization that empowers women in sports. My youngest granddaughter, she plays basketball, and she started at a very young age. And due to the fact that her father is blind, I wanted to be a part of that to help him out. And basically just trying to, you know, get my brand out there. I'm still working out the kinks, but it's just basically about, being who you are, not being afraid to be you, to speak up, to do what God has planned for you, your purpose, and not being afraid to just step out on faith.
Amazing, amazing, and thank you for coming on and sharing tonight. Next, we have Shanette, and I tell you, I know that everything is ordained and everything is always according to God's plan. Shanette actually works for a nonprofit that works with the blind. So
Oh,
look at God.
okay. Yes, yes, yes.
She's
Thank
out
you.
in California, but she works for a nonprofit. Maybe you guys can exchange information, and maybe she can help you get some information. Um,
I would
but
definitely love that.
Shanette, if you would, I can't do you no justice, so I'm gonna move on out the way and allow you to introduce yourself.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Um, bringing greetings all the way from California. We still got light out here, and it's a beautiful day out here. My name is Shanette Johnson. I am a mother of four, a grandmother of four, a wife. I just added last year a podcast host. I'm the host of Let's Talk About It on the Crew podcast, where we talk about injustice. And I also just add Arthur to my name. And also, I just found out I was a poet. And how I started. Oh, and I also hold a class B license. I'm a commercial driver as well. I've been driving buses for 30 plus years. I started in school buses. I moved up public transportation, and that's it. How I got started in writing poetry in 2020, November 10th, 2023. I found my son unresponsive. Um, and that shook my world. My only son. I have three daughters, and he was my only son. And he had congested heart failure. So when he went to sleep on November 9th, the last time I heard him close his door to his room, my son just slept away. And so this last past year has been um really hard for me, to be frank, to adjust. What just came through the holiday season, and that was real bad on me. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. It was really hard on me. So in order to restore releasing some of the pain, Angela always, she encouraged me, write. So her first book, the first anthology I've written in, I just sent her a poem, and it was entitled Good Night. The day I said goodnight to my son. And I sent it to her, and she was like, "Can I use this?" And I was like, "Sure, whatever." you know. And then next thing I know, she sent me back, "Oh, I need a couple of more." I'm like, "A couple of more?" I just sat in the car, and I was just looking up in the sky, and I was just, reminiscing, or, thinking about him. And that's how I began to write. I started putting my feeling and my pain um on paper, because I really thought during that time, I thought that I was going to lose myself. I thought, you know, that I would be better with, not here. If you don't pay during grief, when you don't pay attention to the voice that's speaking to you, you can really lose yourself, or you can harm yourself. So I didn't want to harm myself, because I have three daughters that needed me, even though my children are grown. They still needed me, and my grandchildren needed me. So that's how I began to write. Was through the passing of my son Kyle. In 2025, I I'm looking to released my first anthology entitled From Grief to Glory, and inspired of my son, a lot of poetry. I'm basically writing to him, my feelings, how I felt the first year. So I'm working on that. I still am looking for authors that want to participate in it, if they lost family members, and write to them, hook me, call me up, we can do this together, work through together. Also, my husband is in prison, fighting a wrongful conviction in Denver. So my podcast, Let's Talk, is we talk about injustice. My co-host Cornell, um, we talk to men. So this year, we looking for nonprofit start entitled, Stand for Justice. We find that there's a lot of nonprofits, a lot of people that advocate for injustice. They don't follow through. They get out the loved ones, or that one person that they looking for, and that's it. And they forget about the men. They give the men and women hope, and then they snatch it. there's no hope for them. So that's that's on my list things to do in 2025 is start my nonprofit and also, start a business. I started school. Angela encouraged me to get back in school. So I'm doing school in honor of my son because he wanted to go to college and he didn't get to go. So I'm majoring in business with a minor in criminal justice. And I'm looking to start my business, a transportation business. So it's a lot that I'm trying to do. I want to leave a legacy for my grandsons. So that's a bit about me. Oh, and I also work for Lighthouse of the Blind, where I drive for visual impaired adults, and take they go to school where they learn cooking, braille, arts. They learn a lot, and they are amazing. And
Wow.
that's it about me.
Wow. That's a lot. That is a lot. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And we have Miss Glendoria Boyd in the building. How are you tonight?
I'm great. Thank you so much. I was listening to the other two ladies' stories and they really touched my heart. Well, anyway, I am Glendoria Phillips Boyd. I am a mother of three, a grandmother of five, with two in the oven. That makes seven. That's the two in the oven is going to be here in July, so I am very excited about that. I am also a great grandmother of three, and my life is just full with all my kids, my grandkids, and my great grandkids. I am a motivational speaker. I am a teacher. I am an author, and I am a poet. I have written several books. I have one coming out in February of 2025. It's an anthology that I've done with um, I can't think of it, with Women's Association. Voices of the 21st Century is the one that's coming out in February. So I'm very excited about that, and I just finished uh, two that came out with you, Angela, and I'm very excited about those. I've been really busy, so it's kind of hard for me to, at this point in my life, to keep up with all the names of everything that I have going on. But I'm very excited to be where I am in life, and I think God is the one that has brought me this far. And I do believe that He's going to take me even further. Um, I am a caregiver right now. I've had several different positions in life, but right now I am a caregiver, and the book that's coming out in February, my chapters are called "Caring for Kyra." Um, so what I want to do in 2025 is to take that book and turn it into take those two chapters and turn it into my very own my very own book, talking about caregiving and the ins and outs of taking care of a loved one, because a lot of people, I don't know if many people know this, but it is not an easy task. It is
It's
something,
not.
you know, uh, it can be very difficult at times, but with God, we know that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And so that's where I am with this. And I'm just amazed at how much God has strengthened me, how much God has brought me through, and how He's carrying me on, through it all. Things that I thought, I would never do. God has shown me that we can never say what we will never do because we don't know. Only God knows what we will do and what we won't do. And so, that in itself is a story. So, I've been writing for since 2002, I think. Um, and actually, even before that, my first book was published in 2002. And then but I actually started writing as a child, as a young a young teenager, you know, and so it has just led me this far in life, and I still have that passion. I still have that desire. I write true life poetry, and I write true life stories, that affect me, that affect others, whatever the Lord gives me and say, well, write this down. That's what I do. So, like I said, I'm busy, and I really don't like to use the word busy, but I am, I'm involved. I'm involved with a lot of different things, a lot of different people, a lot of different avenues where I can grow from what the Lord has given me to do with these, with everything that He's bringing me through. I also teach at the Union Gospel Mission here in Fort Worth, Texas. And by the way, I am from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. That's where I live. Been here for like about 30 years now. And so this is my home. I am married, and I don't have any kids in the house, but we are taking care of my niece who is disabled at this time. So I think that's about it that I can, share with you for right now. But I'm just glad to be here, glad to be in the atmosphere with you other poets and other women and men. So I just thank you guys for allowing me to share this stage with you.
Well, I thank you all for joining us on tonight and sharing. As I listen to you guys, all I hear is purpose and legacy, and just wanting to make a difference and leave your blueprint. And I think all three of you guys are inside of the Legacy Chronicles. Mission and Shanette are in all three books, and you're in the last two books, Footprints in the Sands of Time and Eternal Echoes, which I tell you, that book, that series alone was just God sent. God dropped it in my spirit, and the chapters, the different sections that He dropped in my spirit, it was all Him. Because the last book was written during the time that I lost my brother. Didn't When he gave me all of these, he gave it to me. He gave me all three books at one time. He gave me all of the ins and outs of it, but I didn't know that I was going to lose my brother. So losing my brother and actually doing that book, it 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 made the grief process for me a little lighter, because I was able to really express. I was able to get some of those things out, and the way that he allowed me to share. But I want to share this poem with you guys, because you guys are truly allowing him to unveil his purpose to you guys. And the name of this poem, and it's inside of the Footprints in the Sands of Time, is called Unveiling Purpose. um, Pondering the deeps, understanding the mysteries that prevail, reaching for the meaning in the shadows that veer, pursuing the truth, dispelling all fear, opening our hearts to the callings unknown, seeking our purpose in whispers and tones, embracing the journey, that path to explore. And that's that piece. It's called Unveiling Purpose. And I truly believe that you guys are allowing him to step by step unveil your purpose to you guys. And Miss Glendoria, you're not doing too much. You're not all over the place. You're not busy. You you doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Thank you.
Because you are able to reach different people on different platforms. You're able to make connections. You're able to allow that he has placed on the inside of you. All those things that he's placed on the inside of you. I listened to Michelin when she was saying she don't know if it was hearing those scriptures and sitting under, I think it was her grandfather or her father. Me too. I was the same way. My great grandfather was a pastor, so every time we went to his house, it seemed like we was going to church, because he prayed over. He made sure that we was covered. I mean, I don't care if you just come from church or what the situation was. We had service before we left there. I tell you now, I appreciate those things because all of those prayers that he prayed over me. Now I'm hosting a prayer line. 5 years. February will be 5 years. 5 a.m. every morning. We get
Amen.
up and we intercede. You know, everybody, we may think we're not where we're supposed to be, but we are right where we are supposed to be. Because guess what? He know all things. He see all things, and he knew where we would be. Poetry has been an outlet for me. And I want to know, I heard Michelin's story. I heard Shanette. Um, Miss Boyd, how
Mm-hmm.
has poetry been that pulse for you? Tonight is Pulse of Poetry. How has that been a pulse for you? How has that ignited something within you?
Poetry for me has given me an outlet. When things really bother me or get under my skin or make me sad, God has given me the ability to write that stuff down, put it in poetry form, and turn it from sadness to joy. I can't really explain it the way I can think it, but it has been such an amazing journey because it relieves that pressure in me. If I don't let that pressure out in some sort of way, then I could suffer a heart attack, a stroke, or something horrible. But by me taking the pains of life and putting them into poetry forms, it gives me a release. And then when I share it with others, it brings about a joy, even if it's a sad occasion. God has given me the ability to take that and flip it. So even if it's a sad occasion, even if somebody died,
Mhm.
if somebody get hurt, I can turn that situation around with my pen. And that for me, is paramount. It relieves me, it fills me with joy, and I'm able to help others by doing that.
Wow, that's amazing to be able to, as you heal, you also helping someone else heal.
Exactly.
That's so amazing, and to know that, you know everything that we go through, it's not always for us, you
That's
know,
right.
and the fact that we're able to move past all of that, and able to put what's going on the inside on paper so that we can release it. Like you say, get it out, because
Yes.
it can cause a heart attack. It can cause a some kind of physical, getting it out and releasing it.
Yes.
It is so freeing. And people say, Miss Angela, how you come up with all these books? I don't. I just want to be free, and I just allow him to allow me to be free. Like over the last 2 days, I released 2 books, all
Look at God.
devotionals, all devotionals. One, God
Yes.
is God, God
Mhm.
is my present help. That is the name of the 21-day devotional. The
Amen.
31-day devotional is a closer walk with I am that I am,
Mm,
a teen Bible guide,
Mm.
to teach teens, how to have that relationship, and knowing, because I remember when I got saved. I can't speak for nobody else, but I remember when I got saved, and I didn't have nobody telling me, "Oh, you're gonna have these temptations, you're gonna have them." And so when these temptations came, then guess what? 9 times out of 10, I gave in. I
exactly.
gave in. I backslid so many
Mhm.
times, but now I can look back, and I can look at those things that I
Mm.
erred in, and try to share with somebody else so they don't have to err. Give them, scriptures and things that they can do and how to apply. Because we read these words and
Yes.
sometimes we may not understand all those words in the Bible. And that was a lot of, I'm gonna be honest, that was a lot of my problem growing up. All those big
Yes.
words, King James had me messed up. I couldn't understand. He had me all messed up. But now God revealed words to me. He break words down to me, like
Yes.
purpose, and he'll get the word and give me 5 sentences for each one. And
Yes.
it just be so amazing. And then I'm talking about little words. They become books, and
Hmm.
I'm just thankful. And it's a gift.
It is.
Shanette, I want you because I know that you say I push you, but really, what made you say? Because I can tell you to do a lot. You don't always you don't always say, okay, Miss Angela, I'm gonna do it. And she always say Miss Angela, even though she older than me, y'all. She just do it. But what made you say, okay, I'm gonna give in? I'm going to do this because Shanette, I've been with you. I know I came out to California. I was out there 3 weeks. I know what you've been dealing with. I know what you've been going through. What made you decide that you really wanted to? Because you've been penning some nice work. It ain't just been some. I'm talking about for a new poet. You've been penning some nice pieces. So what
Yes.
made you decide that this was what I wanted to do to release? Because you could have chose anything. You could have got back on the road and drove trucks or drove buses.
Mhm.
Be
I can't hear you.
Yeah, that was my plan. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Yes.
you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. That was my plan. To go to get my class A's license. I actually resigned from one of my jobs the day before my son passed. But I since passing, I had put that on the back burner. But because I felt like I wasn't safe, and when you out there driving heavy equipment like that, you had the life of the public in your hands. So I don't want to be driving and all of a sudden I see something or get a smell that reminds me of my son, and now all of a sudden I'm crying. But but look at this, look at God. My cousin called me yesterday, and it's a lady at her church that's looking for women that wants to drive trucks, and
Mm.
they have a school. And she called me, she said, "Net, do you still want to drive?" And my answer was yes. So I am going to go, I'm going to turn my B's into A's. And, Angela, you asked me the question, do you push me or what made me give in? It's because when you lose a child, it's painful. It's like your breath, like somebody done socked you in your stomach and you trying to just get breathe. I wasn't able to breathe. I had a void in my heart, a hole in my heart. I had so much anger in me. And people would say, "Well, why, you can't be angry." Yes, I was angry. My son, I wondered, did he think about me? The last time I looked in his eyes, did he want to tell me, "Look, mama, I'm not gonna be here when you wake up in the morning. Actually, when you come in my room in the afternoon, I'm not gonna be here." You think about me.
Yeah.
How did you feel? That's how. And then God started dealing with me, and I was such a wreck. When I tell you guys I was a wreck, and sometimes I am still a wreck because the pain, I cannot, if you have not experienced losing a child, I cannot describe the pain. It's just like labor pains but worse.
Mm.
So that's what pushed me into, I want to, like Angela, I told you last week when I told you I don't I'm holding on to the pain because I feel like if I let it go, I'm letting my son go. We had that conversation. But when every time I write, I'm expressing to him, I'm telling him how I feel about him. Even though I know he didn't have no control, we all ain't got no control of that. How I felt. You didn't say goodbye to me. You didn't hug me. You didn't give me a kiss. You just laid in my bed and you were sleeping. When I came in my room, I asked you, Kyle, can you go in your room? And you got up. You didn't even look at me.
Wow. She got disconnected. Hopefully she'll be back on. I think she's coming back on now. You got disconnected, Shanette. You back on now. Shanette, you're on. Can you hear us? She
Okay.
apparently
I
is having
think I
some
went
technical.
offline.
Yeah, you got knocked off. You're back now.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
I seen that, but that's what I mean, that's my drive. I couldn't feel. A lot of people been telling me don't, it's not okay to feel, but I wanted to feel the pain. And boy, when I tell you, that's some pain, that's some pain. I wanted to feel the emotions. I wanted to feel. So by me feeling it, I'm able to write it. And then once someone pick up a book that I have written in, or they pick up my book, and they are experiencing the same thing, they will see that yes, it hurts for a minute, but you're gonna get through it. You're gonna be all right. Get you an Angela. I got an Angela
Amen.
that pushed me. And
Amen.
I love her so much.
Amen. Miss Michelin.
Yes.
So this journey for you, I've heard your journey for a while, but I know that you were encouraged by your dad. Somebody got, I hear echo. And your brother. Your brother was your biggest influence.
Yes.
Um, but what has been your drive here lately? Because you've been writing for a while. So what has been your drive? I see you're sharing. I see you doing more. I see you're truly allowing him to unveil that purpose to you. And that's what you're supposed to be done. I'm still waiting on that book. I'm still waiting on that book project from
It's
you
coming.
of
I,
your
I think,
own.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I'm still waiting on that book project, your solo book project of your own.
Well, it's going to happen in 2025. It definitely is. But I think what's been my drive is I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday, and I pretty much was, writing here and there all my life, but I forgot about things. So yesterday I was saying to her, I was like, I forgot. I wrote for the school newspaper. And then I took my grandson to the library, and they had story time, and they had a puppet show. And I was like, I used to put on puppets. I didn't have real puppets. I had socks, and my brother and friends and stuff would come and watch it. Another thing is like growing up, everything wasn't always so great for me. And I had a diary. We didn't call them journals back then. And I would just write my thoughts and feelings down. So it was like I was writing but you know how you think that I want to be this, and God says, no, you're going to be that. So the first time that the opportunity was presented to me to actually be in a book, I was like scared, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then my friends were like, about time. Also, in the past, I have a really good friend, and she's like really excellent in poetry, and now she's actually a comedian. And I would go and watch her, and she would tell me to get up there and do something because I had stuff, but I didn't share it. You know, it was just me. And how you said it's not always for you, it's for somebody else. So this one day I got up enough courage, and I went up there, and I said something, and they had featured poets, and at the time they had them on cassette tapes they were selling, you know. So people came and was like, well, where's your stuff at? And I was like, you know, if you only knew, I didn't even want to get up there, you know, to do anything, you know. It was like, and so then I had another friend, and her friend owned a framing shop. So she would hold these um, art parties for, you know, new artists to sell their work, but she would frame the pictures. And so we would have, you know, poetry and wine and different jazz and different entertainment. And the same friend, her name is Joanne Ash, that told me to get up there and do it. She was like, write something, you know, you do it. So I was doing it for a while. Also, like I said, the things that weren't so great for me in life, I would just write my feelings down, and you know, write it. So to get it off my chest, as you ladies said, it was healing for you, and that was really what it was. It was healing. But it seemed like once you got it out, how you said, Miss Glendora, about if you didn't get it out, you would have a heart attack. And I mean, and I would feel that sometimes, and I would just have to write things down. So what made me do more is I'm like, okay, you know, I guess I'm not so bad at this. And a part of me was like, well, you know, somebody might get something out of it, so I'm going to continue, you know, to do it. And when you were also talking about legacy, I have three granddaughters, three grandsons, but it was really about my granddaughters because I didn't start writing at, you know, 20, you know, I really started like over 50. And I just always wanted them to know it's not too late. Whatever you want to do, whatever God puts in your heart, you can do it. So then I just started doing it more for that. And also, Miss Shawnette, where you were talking about grieving for your son, my son is still here, but I grieve for him. And I didn't even know that you can grieve people who are alive, because he
Hmm.
lost his sight like 4 years ago, and he's 41. So all these years of him seeing, so it was like the life we knew and what was going on, it was changed. So I also had like grief and feelings and different things that I needed to get on paper, you know, because you know, I was like a basket case from that, you know. So I thank God that I can look at him every day, but it bothers me that he can't look at me. He can't see his daughters grow. So I just kind of feel like I'm the eyes and the voice for me and him, for his daughters to know, like, yeah, well, your dad can't do this, but look at what he's doing. And I just want to be a vessel, you know, for my family and for other people who might be in that situation. So I just had to conquer the fear because that's what it was for me. I also felt like I'm not good enough. Like, I don't write like this person. I don't use the words in the vocabulary of that person. But, you know, everybody was just like, you just got to be you. So I just started saying, well, I'm not going to be afraid. And then when you say, well, I'm doing this book, you know, and I'm like, well, yeah, you know, I'm gonna do it because getting to me doing my book, I felt like since I was kind of late to the game, that I had to learn how to crawl before I walked. And then with the collaborations and anthologies, I felt like it was a blessing because I'm like, oh, like you being in Texas and you in California, I'm like, oh, somebody in California read my stuff. And, I did some international things as well. And so I just was like, well, do what God has for you to do, and just be a voice for the people who don't have a voice, and just, speak your words, and hopefully it will encourage, it will heal, it might make somebody laugh, it may get them out of a situation, because as Angela knows, like I was a victim of domestic violence, and I wish there was a book or something that I could have went to read, or somebody passed something on to me, some wisdom, some knowledge. And so now it's just like I know that that's what God's plan is for me. And so I'm just like, have your way, God. Put the words in me. I'm going to say what you want me to say. And and that's basically it. I'm gonna keep on going, and it is a release to just get it out. And when I do, it's like I feel a lift is off of me. I
Yeah.
feel like I could breathe,
Yes.
Yes.
like
Yes,
you know
yes,
so
yes. And I want to share something with you really quick, Michelin. Your son. There is a guy. His name is Bishop Happy Feet. He's a
okay.
pastor. He's out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. He was born sighted. He lost his sight. Horse playing. He was playing as a child. He also had to navigate foster care and all
Mm,
of that as a blind child. He plays, he sings, he does everything. He can hang a TV on the wall, he can do all of that. And he
oh
has
wow.
no sight. He makes sweet potato pies, he does all that. I have had the privilege of meeting him in person. I traveled to Tallahassee, spoke at a conference, and he was being ordained as a bishop during that time. So definitely would love to put you in contact with them as well. People that this is their life, this is what they've lived, and this is
Mhm.
what they're navigating through. So you can hear firsthand real life experiences, and this is what we do and why we do what we do. Just reason this time, because he knew what you would need, he knew what we all would need,
Yeah.
and just you guys sharing and releasing these things. Yeah, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. So I want you guys to get those pieces together. And when I call on you, I want you to share your piece and share how individuals can follow and support you. Um, and then we're gonna wrap it up so we can get ready for our next group of nominees to come through. So I'm gonna start with Miss Glendoria because she's been so patiently waiting.
Oh, bless your heart. Um, Thank you so much. I have two poems here, and I don't know if I can do them both, but it's so hard because both of them mean so much to me. Um, Let me just do the effects of cancer. I knew this young lady. She called and asked me could I write a cancer poem for her, and so I did. So I'm gonna start with this one, and it's called "The Effects of Cancer." It says, "Cancer comes like a thief in the night, with a vengeance, wanting a fight, and a fight we must do if we want to make it through. It attacks the body while affecting the mind, trying to kill us before our time." Yet we accept what God allows, even though we don't know how. We tell ourselves His grace is sufficient, His miracle healings are magnificent. Still, in the midnight hour, we cry, trying to reason with God to tell us why. Why is this suddenly my condition? Will this cancer go into remission? Blaming ourselves for our poor nutrition. Could this be the result of my non submission? The nights are long and filled with dread. There are a million thoughts running through my head. How and why, Lord, did I get cancer? Can you give me an answer? Is this really my fate? Is there some way I can escape? I am humble, Lord, and kneeling in prayer, hoping and praying my life you will spare. Dear God, my courage is weak. That is why your help I seek. Praying You will make me strong again. I have hope, but you have a plan. So I will wait patiently for my deliverance while I'm trusting in your guidance, knowing that I too shall overcome. Yet not my will, but yours be done. Salah. That is
Amen.
by myself, Glendoria Boyd, and I wrote it for a very true friend of mine.
Yeah.
This other one, thank you so much. This other one I wrote, and it's not as long. I'm just gonna say this. Like I said, I'm a caregiver, and this one of my clients is 83 years old, and one day she told me that her old hands wasn't good for much anymore. So she had a birthday, and so this is the poem I wrote for her. I heard you say the other day that your old hand wasn't good for anything anymore, that they were old and wrinkled and sometimes they are sore, that they are just weary and they are definitely worn. Your skin barely covers them, yet they are easily torn. They are weak and feeble and not very strong. They can't pick up things like they used to, nor hold on to them too long. Well, I want you to know, dear one, the job that those hands did, they praised and worshiped the Lord and helped to raise your kids. They gave good gifts to the poor and pats on the head when needed. They clapped and encouraged. They prayed and they pleaded. They taught and instructed, as I detail, with wisdom. They led and guided, something you did very well. So love those old hands, my friends. They are a master of the arts. They have traveled the world afar and touched many hearts. Those old hands have served you well, young lady. They have been tough, and yes, they have toiled. But if anything, treasure them and reclaim them as royal.
Oh, I
So
love it.
that was the one that I wrote to her. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can be reached at Writings of Wisdom, Glendoria P8 at yahoo.com. And if you want to call or text, my phone number is 817-718-5940. I am so thrilled to be here, Angela, and I just thank you for this opportunity that you pour into the people that you meet. All of us authors and poets, you just, I don't know, you are so gifted, and I just want you to know that I, for one, truly, truly, truly appreciate you, Angela.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Shanette, if you would share a piece and how individuals can connect with you. You're muted, Shanette. You're muted, Shanette. You got to unmute. She muted herself when she came back in and she couldn't unmute. We're gonna move on to Michelin and we'll let Shanette go last. Michelin, if you would please share a piece and how individuals can connect with you, and we'll bring Shanette up last.
Well, this is from a book I did with you, the volume two of Silently Hurting Inside. So this is called No More Silently Hurting to Appease the Devil.
Mm,
I hid your sins for many years, in the process trying to suppress my tears. I hid your shame inside of me, like I was the one who was a killer and thief. You killed my soul and stole my dignity every time you put your hands on me. But in the streets, you faked it like I was the queen bee. I showed up for you on your job, for family and friends, always representing, but it was always BS in the end. At church you at church you big time praised the Lord. At home it was cold and we were never on one accord. But
mm,
behind closed doors the monster never despises. The devil's brother is constant and full of surprises. So I prayed to the Lord for guidance and peace. This depression I was feeling wouldn't allow me to sleep. I played your game sometimes for the sake of the kids, but most time you promise things just to manipulate their heads. The anger, the jealousy, his ego and pride wouldn't allow him to look at his selfish self inside. Never coming through like you said you were going to do because you think you're our God and we're supposed to bow down to you. It took me a long time to realize that you're the reason my head is stressful. I did some praying and realized you're not on my level. No more silently hurting to appease the devil. Then I have Proverbs, free yourself like a Proverbs 6:5. Free yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the snare of the fowler. And you can find me on all social media outlets, Instagram, Facebook, under Michelin Moss.
Amen.
And also author Michelin Moss. I have a page as well.
Man, amen. Well, thank you for
Amen.
sharing.
Thank you.
Shanette, are you audible yet? I think you're muted right now. Are you able to share? Unmute yourself.
Yes. Can you
Okay.
hear me now?
Yes. If you can share a piece and how individuals can connect with you.
Yes. Okay. So this one is entitled, let me get, I can't breathe. Okay. Breathe. In the silence, a thunder, a torn heart, a whisper of loss that shadowed the heart. Hit me hard like a blow to my soul. A voice so immense. I gasped for air that feel heavy and thick. A remind each breath a reminder, each moment a tick. Tears fall tears fall like rain, a river of sorrow tomorrow. Oh Lord, hear my plea in this desperate night. Breathe life into dreams, bring back the light. For in every heartbeat is ever soft sigh. Life, live the love of my son who never said goodbye. You can reach me at Shanette Johnson on Facebook, or Let's Talk About It on Facebook.
Well, I definitely want to thank each and every one of you guys for sharing with us tonight, for coming by and sharing with us tonight. It's truly, truly a blessing to have you guys here and being able to share you with those that are following and supporting us. For those that are tuned in, these are some of the amazing nominees for our 2025 Poet of the Year for Aspiring Authors Magazine. If you have not voted, I want to encourage you to go over and vote. Get your vote in, cast your vote. I want to thank you guys for joining me. We're going to get ready for our next set of nominees that are now in the building. They are starting to come backstage. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them on. And I want to thank you guys for joining us on tonight. The building. So while I transition and bring up our next group, we have some amazing poets. I tell you guys, we're going to bring them up in just a second. Let me get them going. Y'all just bear with me.
in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
To the second half of Pulse of Poetry. Live Expressions Unleashed. Y'all, we have some amazing poets that's going to be gracing the stage on tonight. We have the voice, Miss Melanie. We have Mr. Scribes, Mr. Nolan P. Holloway, and we have Miss Marcine Moore in the building. And let me get them on the screen so y'all can see them. Let me get them in, let me get them in, let me get them in. Y'all got to bear with me with this new platform. But I got y'all. I got y'all. Y'all all over the place, but I got y'all. There y'all go. Yeah. Welcome, 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 welcome. I want to welcome you guys. I tell you, it is truly, truly an honor to have you guys in the building. These are some of our nominees for 2025 Poet of the Year. We have our current Poet of the Year in the house, Miss Melanie DeVoice. She's currently holding down that fort over there in Aspiring Authors Magazine. I tell you, it has truly been an amazing journey, an amazing year, in spite of it's definitely been amazing. And I thank her for all that she has been doing. But I'm going to move on out the way. And I want you guys to get an opportunity to meet these amazing poets. Give them an opportunity to tell a little bit about themselves. Y'all know that tonight's Pulse of Poetry, Live Expressions Unleashed, where words become waves that stir the soul and ignite the spirit. Y'all get ready for these next 30 to 40 minutes to get to know these distinguished poets, wordsmiths, so many words that I just can't describe them. I tell you, they redefine borders, they resonate truth, and they paint emotion with their verses. I'm gonna move out the way and allow them. If y'all have not went over to Power of Poetry and cast your vote for them, I want to encourage you to go over and vote. Look, I went down the list and I voted. I couldn't. I had to vote for all of y'all. I went down the list and voted for all of y'all. I'm just gonna tell the truth. I couldn't decide because y'all all are amazing. Y'all all deserve to be recognized, and I'm grateful that you guys are taking this time to come on tonight and share. So I'm gonna move out the way. We're gonna start with Miss Melanie and allow her to introduce herself, share a little bit about herself if she would.
Um, Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Again, my name is Melanie the Voice Johnson, and I am proud to be this year's Poet of the Year. It's been an amazing adventure. Um, Being an author, I love to write, but I'd never written for a magazine before. So this year, writing for Aspiring Authors Magazine and using that platform to introduce the world to other authors that haven't been discovered yet. It's been amazing, and I just love it. I love sharing my poetry and sharing the poetry of others. Right now, I'm at a photo shoot. I also am a professional photographer, so I stepped out of the photo shoot to come and do the interview with you. So if you see me looking around, it's probably people waving or saying something. So I just enjoy life, and I enjoy using my words to help others to express themselves and express the joy that they have in their lives as well. Um, I'm an educator. I teach middle school math, not ELAs, most people thought. So I'm a math teacher, and I'm an author, and I don't know what else I do. I just enjoy life, and I enjoy helping others to find their joy in life.
Walking
Oh,
in person.
I'm supposed to tell you how you can find me. You can find me on Facebook, Melanie Johnson. You can find me on IG, Melanie Johnson Speaks, and all that good stuff. Just Google me. Just Google me.
Wow. definitely, she definitely has her hand in a lot. She does do a lot, but definitely an encourager. I had the opportunity to work with her during a monologue, and
Yes.
I had the ungrateful task of being a mean girl to her. Um, and I tell you,
But
it
it
was
was
an
fun.
amazing experience.
It was
It
fun
truly was.
because in that monologue, it we didn't know the parts that we were going to be chosen for when we interviewed, but everybody was assigned something that really brought out a character trait in them. And it was, I mean, to see you being a mean girl to me, it was okay because it was you and I knew it wasn't harmful, but that kind of thing does happen and we have to be able to address it and understand it and be able to move past it. So I did.
Wow, it definitely was an amazing experience. Mr. Nolan, if you would introduce yourself and share a little bit about yourself.
Would love to do that. First of all, Angela, I have to thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. I remember you interviewed me a while ago, and that was a good time. Nice meeting the fellow poets that's in the room tonight. My name is Nolan P. Holloway Jr., but I go by Mr. Scribe. I'm a co host of a virtual talk show by the name of The Real Level Up. We started with one show about 6 or 7 years ago. We now have 7 shows, different shows in different genres, not just poetry. We have CHH, which is Christian hip hop. We have a relationship show. We have another show with the author of a book to help diabetic people change their diet to drop their A1C. I also am an author of 3 books that you can find me on Amazon, my website, which is simply nolanphollowayjr.com. In addition to that, I know I don't have a virtual screen, but you can see behind me, I have my sound booth because I also do voiceovers as well. So just doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and just want to share my words and just as a believer, spread the good news. That's kind of where I'm at in my life right now. I got 6 grandkids. I try to stay busy, and it's just an honor to meet different poets that I can read, collaborate with, and I'm looking forward to developing some relationships with you guys because you never know. It may end up in a collaboration.
Amen. Amen. That is definitely the whole gist of a lot of what I do. I love to bring people together because you never know what other resources other people may have. And then I like to pull, like, I may be weak in the area and you may be strong in the area and you may be able to help me in that area. You know, I can't express it enough, and I tell people stuff like this is very important. The group that we just had on, it was just amazing because they were able to connect. We have a young lady that her son is blind and they've been having a hard time. Well, Shanette, one of the other young ladies on there, she worked for a organization that works with blind. And I just came in contact with a bishop. He's a bishop. He runs a ministry and he's blind. Not only that, he hangs TVs. He not only do that, he make pies. Yes, he do all of that. I'm telling you, when you see, and he sing and he play the instruments and he set the instruments up. Ain't nobody told me that. I saw it for myself. And his name, they call him. His name was Pastor Happy Feet. Now his name is Bishop Happy Feet. Because
Mm.
when he get to going in the spirit, all you see is them feet get to moving, and he be so happy. But I tell you, God is good. You never know what we may need or what the next person may have. And you guys have already done some amazing things by putting your pen to paper and allowing these words to come out because you guys are now y'all are poets, y'all are author, published, y'all are motivational speakers. Y'all are out here doing it, voiceovers, and all the stuff that y'all are doing to pour into others because y'all are not just thinking about yourselves. Y'all are thinking about the people around you. And that is purpose. Miss Marcine, you're up. And I want you to I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. While you're telling us a little bit about yourself, I want Melanie and Mr. Scribe to be thinking about what that word pulse of poetry mean to you. What does that mean to you? And how have poetry been a pulse to you? Miss Marcine.
Hi, sister. Hello, Angela. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's
How
been
are
it's
you?
been a while. I'm great.
Yes.
I'm great. No complaints. No complaints. So, a little bit about me. I am a two-time best-selling author of poetry. Um, my Phoenix Heart book on Barnes and Nobles went best-selling in September 2023, and then Reflections Rising followed up in March of 24. So I've been blessed with those books going best selling in poetry. And my new novel, Gemini Echoes, is coming out in about a week, whenever Martin Luther King is, I guess a week from now. So the author poet journey has been awesome to me. Um, a little bit of what I do professionally to earn my real money. I am a director of HR, so some people like to call me the policy police, but that's what I do. And other than that, I have spent my time trying to develop my connections, which I have developed connections in the poetry community around the DFW and the Texas area. And internationally, I have been on a broadcast of Place to Pause with my poetry that's out of Hiroshima in Japan. And then I've been on the International Book Show um, in P literature. So that's just a little bit about me. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook by my name. I don't have a code name. I haven't been that clever yet. Marcine and Moore, or you can call me Triple M. So that's just a little bit about me, and I'm in Dallas, Texas.
So while we have you on the mic, pulse of poetry. What does that mean to you?
Um, the postal poetry. Um, it means to me staying involved within the poetry community and letting your words be able to assist and heal people, because that's what poetry is. Poetry is about healing, in my opinion. Because personally, it healed me out of situations, right? Because it made me whole, and it helps me continuously to get through to myself and to other people. So that's what I think a pulse of poetry is. It's continuing that work and spreading your word with different types of poets, because it's all different kinds of poets. You have your slams, you have your spoken words, and we are all one family. And we help and heal in different ways.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great take, great take. Mr. Scribe, what does that mean to you? Pulse of poetry.
Well, my pulse of poetry came at the age of 51. I'm now 66. So my pulse of poetry came late in life. And it was just something that I truly believe was a gift from God. The poems just poured out of me. And when I had about 200 of them, didn't know what to do with them. So started posting them on social media. And a friend suggested, why don't I put it in book form? And going through that journey has gotten me to publish 3 books. And I just met someone yesterday. I work with a group at my church, Administer Justice, to help people with legal issues. And the client that I was working with yesterday, she has her own publishing company, and she's an editor. So I've been looking for a publisher for my 4th book, and God has directed me to her. So we may connect to do that. And I think also with the Pulse of Poetry, when you want to know what happens historically at different times of our history, read the poets of that time. Booker T. Washington, Nikki Giovanni, I mean, all these different poets. If you read their work, it'll tell you a little bit about that particular period of time, which I think is very important, where we see a lot of our history and things like that is trying to be erased.
Wow. That's a good point. That's a good point. And I always tell people that what we do as writers and in the literary world, being able to put our stuff in pen, where they can't do that, where they can't erase our stuff, because a lot of hearing every day there's states that are wanting to take different, um somebody say they don't, one state don't want to go past 2008. How you gonna tell us that our history starts in 2008? What about the 1900s? What about what about the 1800s? What about all that stuff that made us get to 2008? Like we didn't just get to 2008. So how you gonna erase all of that? So what you said was is very profound. We definitely need to continue to be able to express and continue to be able to put these things down so that people can get a little piece of us and a little piece of our history and the things that we're doing. That's going to be important for the next generation, because they're taking a lot of stuff away, taking a lot of stuff away. And then the way they're doing different stuff, even with the Bible, you know, and that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah, what you said was very, very needed. So thank you for sharing that perspective. That is an amazing perspective. Miss Melanie,
Yes. Oh, I'm
what
sorry.
does that phrase pulse of poetry, what does that speak to you?
uh, to me, postal poetry speaks life. Um, in my profession as an educator, I get to encounter students, co-workers that have a lot of things going on, and a lot of times our students get angry with each other, ends up in a fight or something like that, and it's all because of feelings. So I have taught them to use their words to express how they feel, and they'll get sent to me, um, and they think it's a punishment. They'll get sent to me, and they'll have to, instead of being frustrated about the situation they're in, I have them to write about it. And then I have them, okay, after they write about it, I ask them to develop it later on. So we develop it into pieces and stuff like that. Poetry has helped me to be able to, as Marcine said, cope with a lot of different things in life. Um, I recently, about a month ago, lost my mom, and that has been one of the hardest. I'm sorry, we're driving now. That's been one of the hardest things that I have had to deal with in my life, and I turned to poetry to help me to be able to cope with it. Um, so to me, the pulse of poetry is just like the blood running through my veins. It helps me to be able to just live. Um, I use poetry to express the good times, the bad times, the confusing times, just whatever I'm feeling at the moment. Sometimes you can't always talk about it. You
Right.
may not have someone to talk to, or you may have someone that may not understand it. So I just write it down in poetry. And just like Mr. Scriven said, I didn't know I was a poet until a few years ago. And I started just writing poetry. And someone said, okay, when you going to put that in a book so we can read it? So I published my first poetry book in 2022, and it was also a bestseller. And since then, I have been um, using my poetry in different anthologies, several with you, Angela. Thank you for that opportunity as well, um, to help others be able to heal through different moments in their life. I'm also a domestic abuse survivor, so my poetry, it addresses many avenues in life that people deal with, but it's hard to talk about.
Wow. And that's what I get from a lot of poets. That is the conciseness. It helps them heal through the process, and that was a lot of the young ladies on the last show. It has helped them get through. One young lady said that if it was not for poetry, that she may have had a stroke or a heart attack because of all of the stuff that was building up. And it was her way of releasing. And not only was she able to release, but through her releasing, other people were able to receive and get their healing. So I think it's so amazing that we can heal and help others heal. as we share. That is just amazing, and because not all the things that we go through is for us, and us having these outlets to be able to get it out and to share and to let other people know. Y'all, I tell you, it's amazing. I never thought. We was talking on the last show. Young lady was sharing how her dad would speak over her and pray over her. Never thought that my great grandfather was a pastor. He prayed over us every day. Every time we would see him, he was always praying. I used to say, "Oh, I didn't want to go over there because we finna go have church," not knowing that today that was gonna help me, because now I host a prayer line every day at 5 a.m. for 5 years. It'll be 5 years in February that we've been hosting this prayer line at 5 a.m. And I look back to him speaking over me and him praying over me. If he had not done that, where would I be? So if y'all were not able to express these words and able to share those things that are on the inside of you with people, where would they be? So I thank you guys for sharing. I hope you have pieces ready. Melanie, I know you always have something. You can do something off the top of your head. But I hope y'all have some pieces ready, because I want to hear some pieces from you guys. So I hope y'all got something ready. I want to start with Mr. Scribe. I want y'all to share a piece, and then please also make sure you share again how individuals can support the things that you have going on. If you have shows, whatever you got going on, we want them to be able to reach out and touch you guys.
Okay, since you picked me first, this is my third book, Life Between the Words. It's an award-winning book. Not a number one seller like the two ladies that I'm on, but I'm aspiring to get there one day. It was the International Impact Book Award, and I just got awarded this in November. But this is my third book, Life Between the Words, and there's Angela, Melanie, and you talked about this book was healing for me because my mother was diagnosed with cancer, Alzheimer's. Then it went to Alzheimer's and dementia. I lost my brother who had an aneurysm for complication of diabetes. I had a daughter who I was estranged from the time she was like 7 till the time she graduated from high school, and I came back into her life and she was tragically killed. So all of these things went into this book. So I'm just going to pick. I like to do it at random. I don't like to try to figure out which one I'm going to read. I just kind of flip through and pick a piece. This piece is called Why. Why? I never could have dreamed of the chance that I have been blessed with. With all the things of this world, I could never contemplated that I would be where I am now. Why? Years after following for things of this world, I now stand here, broken, humbled by the choices that I made and the consequences that followed. Dreams shattered and vision blurred. Why? I don't have many material things, but I know that I am blessed. Over the years, I have come to the realization God is always there. God is always there. I went through years of introspection and self evaluation. Why? Learn to love myself. From there, decided to be transparent as a man. Endured the ridicule of being perceived as weak minded, and then I gave it to the one who knows my heart. Why? When I connected with my spiritual side, committed myself to truly serving Him, my life gained meaning and I discovered happiness again.
All right.
Nice, nice, nice. Miss Marcine. Oh, Mr. Scribe, how can we follow, support, reach you?
You can follow me on my virtual talk show on Sundays from 3 to 5 on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. And the name of the show is The Real Level Up, which I co host. If you want to purchase my books, you can purchase them on Amazon, or you can simply learn about me and leave your email address so we can keep in touch on my website, which is nolanphollowayjr.com.
Amen, amen, amen. Miss Marcine.
Okay. I have. Actually, I have two poems, if that's okay. One is really short, and then I have a regular poem. The first
Okay.
poem that I wanted to write, well, that I wrote was on New Year's Day, and it just came to me. So this is the I choose. I choose me. Am I selfish? No, because no one knows me better than me. I know my likes and my dislikes, things that make me hurt, cause me pain. And me, she, her won't let hurt occur because I chose me. When I choose me, I choose happiness, bliss, living in the truth with no needs to deceive, lie, or pretend because in the end, I'm living with me. I chose me. That was the first poem that I wrote. New Year's. So, so my next poem, if anybody knows me, my poems are about relationships. It's called Soft, um, and um, it's about relationships when you finally meet that person and they make you soft from both sides. So it has a little music involved. So let's see if I.
Eyes in the fucking truck.
See, he said, "You are soft," a whisper in the quiet night. I love the way you feel in my arms. Your softness stirs a fire within, a flame I never knew I possessed. See, when I see the softness in your face, in the gentleness of your eyes, it makes me want to shield you, to stop all harm from reaching your soft. You've poured into me, filled me up with tenderness that overflows. I want to retain what you've given to be the keeper of your softness and reflect it back to you tenfold. For in your softness lies a strength that binds and heals, a silent power. It's in the way you move, the way you speak, the very essence of your being. Soft yet unyielding, gentle yet profound. So let me be the guardian of all the softness that you are, for you have softened the edges of my soul. And in your embrace, I found my home. And she said, you are strong. He is the strength, steadfast and true, the solid rock in life's vast blue. A compliment to my softness, he stands, a protector heart with gentle hands. And together we balance like day and night. His strength, my softness, combined just right. In his arms, I find a power so grand, a fortitude that helps me understand that strength isn't just force of might, but the courage to love and hold me tight. And a softness isn't merely a delicate grace, but the resilience to any obstacle we face. So here we stand, hand in hand, strength and softness in a timeless trance. He is my fortress, and I am his light. Together, a force that shines so bright, softness and strength. And that's my piece. You can find me, as I said, on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook under Marcina Moore in my link tree. And I do open mics and performances around the DFW area. And I'm usually on a TikTok. I go on a show, A Place to Pause, which I said is in she is out of Hiroshima, Japan. So the hours are kind of odd. So it's kind of mid morning, like 4 a.m. our time, and she comes on at 2 p.m. Central Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And I love that piece. That was amazing. That was amazing. Miss Melanie, are you able? Because I know you are
What?
traveling. Are you able? You're muted. Can't hear you. If you can't share a piece, if you could just share how we can reach out to you. I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
You're muted.
Yeah.
You're muted. It say you, but it says you're not muted. But I can't hear you.
Does she
Yeah.
have an earpiece?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
it's
has a earpiece. Yeah. And we just lost Angela. Yeah.
So we're
y'all just
solo.
Technically.
lost me.
No, you're back.
No, I'm still here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm
You
here.
disappeared off our screen for a second.
I was like, oh man. Oh, we lost Mel.
Yeah. I
We
want to
lost
reach
her.
out to you as well, but I'll find you because I want to connect with you because I like your work and the things that you're doing. So it's always good for me to add to my poetic family. So, but like to reach, and you left your information, just TikTok, Instagram. Okay.
Well, you can
And
Google. You can Google.
she's in the poetry book with us.
Yeah. That was the other anthology, correct, Angela?
Uh-huh. She's in it with
Okay.
us. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I have her information too. So if you can't get in contact with her, you always can reach out to me.
I'm gonna be reaching out to you, Angela, because you and I are supposed to meet. We've crossed paths too
Well,
many
I'm
times.
here.
You're in
I'm
Georgia?
here. I'm here. Yeah, I'm in Union City.
All right, you didn't tell me. You didn't let me
Yeah, I
know.
yeah.
did tell y'all. I did tell y'all that. I told everybody I was in
No,
Union
no, no,
City.
no. I remember you was in Union City, but then you went back and you said you was gonna come back, but I
No,
didn't
I've
know.
been back since August.
Oh, okay, my bad. All right.
I've been back since August. I thought I
Okay.
told you too. I told Mr. Wendell. I thought I told you too.
Okay. All right. Now I know you
But
was coming back, but now that I know you're here,
I'm
Union
here.
City. Got you.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I am here in Union City. So
Okay.
yeah, we definitely gonna connect and get some things going. I
Okay.
definitely appreciate you guys for just allowing your talents to shine and to share. Marcine, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you.
Thank
I have
you.
seen you grow so much. Just this year that I've known you, I have seen you grow so much, and I am so proud of you. When I tell
Oh,
you, you have truly blossomed into a spoken word artist. You have come out of that shyness because you used to be so shy, and
yeah.
I just love seeing you. I love seeing your posts. I love seeing you them showing me your pictures when you're performing. So I see you, and I'm proud of you. So
And
know
thank
that.
you because you started me on the journey, and hopefully I'll see you this year at
Yes, you will.
the AAL
AALAC, Chasing Your Dream Book Tour. You will see
AALAC.
us. We will be coming back. I think we're moving to August. This year we're moving to August.
But
Um,
you're gonna be in Carolina too, right? Remember,
yeah,
I t-
we're gonna do Charleston. We're supposed to do it in March. So
okay,
I'll keep you posted on that. If not in Charleston, it'll be here in the Atlanta area because that's where I am. So
okay.
Me
definitely
too.
we'll definitely keep you posted on that. Um, but while I have you guys here and we're in front of the audience, is there anything that you guys would like to share with them? Encourage them to go vote for you guys. Anything that y'all have coming up, anything that they know, we still got about 10 minutes, anything.
Well, my thing is, I'm honored to be part of voting for the Poets of 2025. And a lot of times for me, I need the reciprocation of people that have heard my work because it's not about how many books I sold. It would be nice if I could sell more, but it's more important to me that people resonate and not just like my work, but tell me why. Can you tell me why you don't like it? Can you tell me why you like it? If it's impact you in any way, those are the things that I need to hear or receive back to give me the creative to basically add to my gift because I know God has given it to me. There's been times where I couldn't write anything. I went for 6 months and didn't write a poem at all. Couldn't think of a theme, couldn't come up with a title. And a person I reconnected with said, you know what, start journaling. And I feel that you're going to be able to recapture, or it's always there. And all I did was start journaling every day, just jotting down little things that I felt. And boom, the poetry's come back. I think I've written 4 or 5 pieces that are going to be part of my collection for my next book. So I never was discouraged that the gift was gone because I know it wasn't gone. It was just that it was a different season, and I understood that once he gave me the gift, he wasn't going to take it away. So what I want to tell people out there, like Melanie, just been doing it for a little while. You could see how it changes you because you're vulnerable. As a poet, when you write your work, people can pierce through that, and you're sharing some of yourself. So people,
Mhm.
even though they don't know you, they kind of know you from your words. So that's a big chance that a lot of people that I've met, poets that have written volumes of work, but are so fearful they won't share the words. But the fact that you're here sharing your words in book form in the anthologies shows that you've chosen faith over fear. Because a lot of times people don't want to share their innermost. I shared in a piece that I did along in my first book, Recovery. A friend of mine was going through some addiction, asked me, gave me the title, and said, write a piece with the title Recovery. I had to go back to my dark place to write that poem. And it pulled something out of me. But again, going through that made me stronger, made me look back on that. Oh, I've made it past that. So if you want to write, write. I mean, it could be any type of genre, but poetry, as we know, Mel, is an acquired taste. A lot of people don't read poetry. A lot of people are not into, they rather read the romance and the other novels and the sci-fi and the horror and all of that. But poetry, I think, is for the soul. And any real poet is going to pull part of their soul out and put it on paper. And sometimes that's not very easy.
It's not. It's not. It is not.
Right.
So I applaud you guys for all that you do. Definitely. It is not easy. I that when we did Eternal Echoes, I was going through the loss of my brother, and it was like I shared this on the last podcast. God had already given me those titles, that whole series. He'd already given me the titles and pretty much given me the different sections to those books. Did I know I was going to lose my brother during that time? But I was able, that last book, I was able to dedicate it to my brother because. Um, of just the title and just the different things that God had already put in place. And did I know that that would be the thing that would help me get through um losing my brother? That helped me with the grieving process,
Yeah.
and even losing my cousin um on a couple of weeks ago. I mean, literally, she had planned her sister's birthday party, invited everybody over. Her sister was standing at the door, telling her how pretty her hair was. And she turned to walk away to go meet everybody else. And my cousin just dropped dead right there after she
Yeah.
Wow.
planned this big old party for everybody for her sister's birthday. It was her sister's birthday, and she got everybody to her house for her birthday.
Yeah.
So
You
you
know,
never
poetry. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. And being able to express. God has been dealing with me with words. Like I say, words is just for the last 5 or 6 years, it's just been words. He take just one little word and it turns into a
Hmm.
book. and it turns into 5 poems. It turns into just different things. So just being able to express. I truly thank you guys. Melanie, I'm glad you're back. Um, if you could, share a piece. And again, how can individuals connect with you? We can hear you.
We're actually under
Yeah,
a
it's
tornado right now.
oh,
So it's a tornado warning in the area. So that may have been why I got cut off. But I wanted to share this piece I wrote last night. Um, as I said before, my mom passed away about a month ago. And I've been trying to figure out how to deal with grief. And this one is entitled Grief. Today was another long one. Each day without you tends to be. I dread waking up in the mornings, and at night, sleep can't find me. I want to tell you some news, or just hear your chuckle at something funny. I want to see your new project, or make your cash app ding with some money, but I can't anymore. I had a thought of you today, or was it yesterday? I don't know. Each day has a beginning or end. I
Um,
think of you, or at the mention of your name. Life isn't the same without you here. I'm glad you're not suffering. I keep trying to live each day, but my heart just keeps on buffering. Being with the family is how you want it to be, every chance you could get. But now their presence makes me remember a moment I will never forget. I want to live as you want, but I must admit, it's hard. I know you're in a better place in the presence of the Almighty God. You live the best life that you could. See, I wish there was more I could have done, but against death, I could not guard. Just know this moment, you are well missed, and your presence is felt even
well, we may have lost her.
um
Angela, before we go, I want to say something to you.
can you hear it?
You keep going. You're going
Yeah,
in
you're
and
in and
out.
out because I guess
She's
the
going
weather
in
is
and out. She's down in Mississippi, and the weather
okay.
is bad
Yeah,
oh
there.
wow.
So,
yeah,
definitely, I definitely thank her for she's trying, but it
yeah.
keep
Yeah,
it keep
I wanted to say to you, Angela, I've
yes.
known you for a number of years now, and seeing where you were a few years ago, you had your prayer line going, you had some other things going, but I follow you all the time, and to see how far you've come and the things that you've done an amazing job. You went back to school. You was maintaining your different platforms that you was on. Because when you and I got connected, I was following you ever since then. So even though you may see me reach out every now and again, I see what you're doing, and you're doing quite a bit for what God has called you to do, and that's the thing that inspires me. God gave you something to do, and no matter what's going on with you, you're doing it. So that encourages and motivates and inspires me. So I just want to thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you,
yes,
thank you. Sometimes we need to hear that. So thank you. I just want to be the change that I
Yeah,
desire to
you
see
are.
in this
You're
world.
making it. You're
So
making a change.
I
You're
am
doing it.
trying. I'm definitely trying to do that.
And now
And
that
I
I know
think
you in Georgia, now that I know you permanently in Georgia, that's it right there.
I'm in Union City. I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
I'm here. So we definitely can connect. But
Okay.
I thank you guys for coming on and sharing with me on tonight, sharing your poetry, just sharing a little piece of you, because I know it's not easy going before these platforms and pouring and sharing. So thank you guys. Um, Please make sure that y'all go vote for these amazing poets. Who will be our next poet of the year? I tell you, I'm excited because the poet of the year is not only going to be able to write for the magazine poetry section, but they're going to be able to host their very own poetry show right here on the Crew Podcast. They're gonna have 4 shows. We're gonna do 4 shows because it's gonna be on the fifth Monday of every fifth Monday. So there's four fifth Monday. So you're gonna have 4 shows. I already know the dates. So you're gonna be able to work that show. So some lucky winner is gonna be able to allow their voice to be heard and share other poets as well. So I'm
Angela,
excited for you guys. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's
I just
awesome.
want to say, not luck, blessing. It's not luck.
Blessing. Yes.
It's luck.
Yes.
It's not
Okay.
bless.
Blessing.
It's not luck. It's blessing. That's just want to say that.
Okay. Somebody's gonna receive an amazing blessing because it's already aligned for somebody. So somebody's just gonna walk into their destiny and take on the role of the poetry section of the magazine in the role of the podcast. So
Wow.
somebody about to walk into their destiny. So I'm excited for whoever that person is that's getting ready to walk into their destiny, getting ready to align to that's already been preordained for them. So again, I want to thank each and every one of these amazing poets for gracing us on tonight and for allowing your voices to be heard around the world through your pen. Y'all keep writing, keep sharing, keep spreading love. I love you guys and thank you for stopping by. Y'all, if y'all have not voted, go over and vote. Again, if you are not connected to the 100 authors on the move, I want to encourage you guys to get involved with the 100 authors on the move. We're going to be doing some amazing things coming up this year. We're going to be out. AALAC is going to be back out doing our thing. African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign is coming to a city near you soon. So be on the lookout, be aware. If you want to connect with me, you can catch me on most media platforms as the Queen of Collaboration. You can go over to Linktree, Queen of Collaboration, and there's a slew of links that you can find out all about me. Again, I want to thank you guys for stopping by and being a part of the Poetry Spotlight for 2025. Y'all, see you next time.